I understand that both of you guys are pretty much, chefs and you're doing your business, you're getting your brand. So there's two things that I actually need a little more detail on because I know a lot of people don't understand the difference between vegan and vegetarian.
Yes.
So I'm pretty sure that both of you have a take on how to explain the difference between a vegan, a vegetarian, and I guess I'm not sure there's any other types of eating out there. You can fill me in if there is. Shannon,
Would you like to take it, Shannon?
No, Nigel, go for it first.
So vegan and vegetarian, it's actually really simple, super simple, right? So a vegan diet is a diet that does not consist of any animal products. No eggs, no milk, in some cases, in a lot of cases, not even honey, right? And a vegetarian diet can consist of those things, right? And what makes those two diets very similar is that there's no meat, right? So vegetarian, there's no meat, but there are animal products in there, right? And with a vegan, there's no meat, but to go a little further, there's nothing made from no animal byproducts and no animal products at all.
Yep, just to piggyback on that, no beeswax, like different types of chapsticks. It goes even beyond the food that you're eating. It goes into the lifestyle that you live. You're not wearing any leather. You're wearing a lot of like faux leather goods. You're not using chapstick that is made with beeswax, which is a animal byproduct. So a lot of the ways that I like to differentiate vegan versus vegetarian is, yes, they are rooted in a lot of healthier whole eating, a lot of plant-based foods, less to no animal whatsoever, be it land or sea, and also living the lifestyle whereby you're more conscious in what you're eating, what you're consuming, and how you're going about your everyday life. So I've heard even some vegans, instead of using like plastic, they're using a lot of like glass and reusable materials just so that it's more sustainable for the earth as well.
Wow.
Not bad.
Wow.
That's a wonderful piggyback. I like that.
I like that.
Or veggie back.
So, I got a question for you guys. Obviously, during this quarantine, it's pretty rough. It's crazy. How are you guys still working on your craft? Like, so you said you're always working up in the lab. What are some additional things that you're working on in your lab while going through this quarantine?
Okay. So additional things I have been doing in the lab is looking at what other creators are doing, looking at other things that are trending and trying to replicate it as well. Whipped coffee was definitely a thing I tried. Halfway liked it. It was okay. Other things that I'm doing to kind of keep my mind above everything that's going on is continuously creating and just replicating older things that I've done. Like they have like the 10-year challenge, the 5-year challenge. For me, it's more like the 5-year challenge, whereby I started making these devil sauces. It's just chilies and oil and really, really hot. I think you recall them when I was in Queens. And I've replicated it to have more vegetable base in it. And I actually have one. I did a batch yesterday and they came out like this. There's a lot of onion, garlic inside of it. So just rebranding and redoing a lot of the things that I've done. I've even started my ghetto garden, which is essentially growing a lot of like my fruits and vegetables in my window, in my living room, in an area that has no, like, I don't really have a lot of land space to grow and cultivate. And when I did, it's a lot. It's a lot and I said, let me just start off small. I started growing bell peppers, potato, watermelon, lavender, and oh gosh, what else? Spinach as well. I actually have the watermelon right here, and it's crazy the way they're growing.
Wow.
Yep. That's watermelon. And I have the potato back here. She's starting to flower up. Yeah. So it's been fun, just experimenting, rethinking how I want to take on food, and just continuously growing my craft, seeing what I have on hand, trying to make things that are quarantine friendly, I guess you can say, or pantry staples, things like that, and just growing my repertoire as well. Yeah.
Okay, so just let me know when I could come by to do some grocery shopping. Apparently, so I need some watermelon, spinach, lavender. I got to make my bathroom smell really nicely and stuff. But you are doing an excellent job.
I'll tell you this really quickly. That's the reason why I'm not planting it outside, because people in my neighborhood, they like to take things that are not bolted to the ground.
Oh man!
Like About 3 months ago, someone took our garbage can full of garbage, and I'm like, oh no, if I grow this watermelon outside, they'll be gone in the morning. So or
That's my watermelon. That's
come on over.
mine. Thank you very much. Uh, Chef Nigel, question posed to you as well. What else are you whipping up in the lab? Obviously, with quarantine, people are not allowed to, at least for now, the restaurants start finally open up, but
Yeah.
during the whole thing, no one can visit any restaurant and stuff. What are some things that you may be working on, little secrets that you got going on over there?
So this is actually really cool. So I was just, before we got on this call, Shanomso and I were talking, and we found out that we went to the same high school, and I literally was a agriculture major in high school. So literally growing things are like, it's like almost in my DNA now.
Yes.
And my parents are from the West Indies as well. So like agriculture is like second nature. So we have a backyard. I live in Queens, New York, and I literally have tons of things growing in my backyard, just like Shanomso has hers growing as well. I have lavender. We're actually growing grapes, blueberries, raspberries, really nice when it comes to fruits. Some collard greens, some Swiss chard. Obviously, you gotta have some tomatoes in your garden. You just gotta have it. Different types of tomatoes. And if I had to remember off the top of my head, some sweet peppers, some seasoning peppers, and some spicy peppers as well, Scotch bonnet to be really specific. But in addition to that, right, I started my catering brand in 2017. And I really the way how I started it was posting videos online. So I'm really familiar with transitioning a business from, like I said, brick and mortar to online. So one of the ways I've just kept my head above the water during COVID with my business is simply helping other people transition their business from brick and mortar to online as well.
Wow.
And I do that a few ways by helping business get leads and customers by running Facebook ads, Instagram ads, right? Targeting specific audience so people would have more people to talk to, help businesses talk to potential customers who want foods delivered to them instead of them having to go to food. And those are ways I've just been really keep my head above water, planning the next step on how I can successfully convert people who I'm talking to on Facebook and Instagram every day, because all of our eyes have been glued to social since COVID,
Yeah.
and how to take those people who are already paying attention to the platform and just bring them to maybe make a purchase for and support their local restaurants, right? And that's really the way I've been keeping my head above water. And I'm super humble as well. So some days, like, I just hit up the DoorDash app and I just vroom vroom, send a delivery from maybe like a pizza store to someone's house. And documenting the journey really helps building a brand on social media for sure.
Okay. All right. So wow. So okay, another place where I could go grocery shopping. And
Not bad.
I'm working on my shopping list. Sorry, guys. But do you, even though we're moving to the digital world,
This is
do
true.
you think, for both of you, do you think there's going to be in the future for expansion of your brands, like Nigel? Like, do you think when things start to settle and and this nation kind of figures out where they are, do you think you'll be opening up maybe your own restaurant by chance? And Chinamso, maybe even you too. Like, do you think you're going to possibly expand into maybe one day going into a restaurant or something like that? Like, do you guys have any future outlook on where you guys are going to go?
I would say maybe in the next 10 years,
Okay.
maybe,
Okay.
right? But I know that based on just studying restaurants, a lot of them, they're hard to be sustainable, right? And I always advise if someone really wants to put impact into the culinary world and just provide really good food for people, they should start off with a catering brand, right? Because you can start one of those at your home, and you can provide for your local community, and you can make a real return on your investment with a catering brand. But I really would one day like to open up my own restaurant for sure.
Okay.
Nice. I completely agree with you, Nigel, on that in terms of starting at the home base. That's where I'm starting off right now. And I know long term slash short term, within that like 5 to 10 year goal, I would definitely like to branch out into more of a physical like brick and mortar space, or even a brick and mortar space that's on wheels. You know, like a
Yes.
food truck. That's something I really like. I feel like it's a little bit more manageable instead of having like a whole entity that you have to worry about. It's slightly, an offshoot of the house, but it's not like the full restaurant where you have like multiple workers and it's a large space. So I'm that's been tinkering in my mind for the last few years. But starting at the home base, I like it a lot. My overhead is low. I know exactly where everything is. In my space. Granted, Con Ed, is coming at me for the gas bill, for the light bill all the time, but it's all good. It's all good. It balances out. It balances out.
Yes.
Oh my. So I know, right now everything is about, what we can do to build ourselves and, get ourselves out there and let people know how productive we're being. And I think it's a good thing that you guys mentioned starting in your community. I don't think a lot of people understand that your community itself can be really supportive and beneficial to you, especially when starting your own brand. So can you two just give me information on the experience that you've had with starting in your community? Nomsa?
Within starting my brand in my community, I've definitely been able to link up with a lot more people and been able just to expose them to the different food options that are out there. It hasn't been the easiest thing because people will sometimes think, oh, you're trying to, steal a customer from me, or you're trying to do different things that would be deleterious for them. But in fact, me as a person, I love to bring people together and just share information, share wealth of knowledge. So if I know a really good person who does great hair, I'll recommend someone that I know that's looking to get hair done to them. If I know someone that is looking for like really good food, I'll, connect them. So within the community aspect, I love to connect people and say, hey, listen, or put people on a spotlight. So when I'm making a post on Instagram or like in my stories, I will tag the heck out of whoever, supported the brand, be it a seasoning company, be it, a local butcher shop, my hair person. All in all, I love to bring people together and just share, oh, this is where I get my meats from. This is where I, get my fruits and veggies sourced from. So that's been my experience thus far within community. Would I love to do more? Absolutely. Once everything clears and 2020 like has an idea of what she wants to do with herself, then right. I want to definitely expand with more community outreach and just doing more for the people that are around here where I live, which is in the Bronx, New York, BX.
Bronx, New York, okay. All right, Queens, represent. Let's go.
Thank you.
Listen, man. I was born in the Bronx too, so don't. Hey.
Not bad.
I was in the Bronx.
For me, it's been relatively positive for me, at least starting in my community, because like I said, I'm a church boy, so literally I had access to like hundreds of people who really wanted to, taste my food from the jump. And what was amazing about that is that those people were connected to other church communities as well, and those people were excited to know that there was a young man cooking vegan food, and in church and outside of church cooking non-vegan food. So no matter where they went, I always had an outlet of someone who really wanted to try what I was cooking up. And I got a lot of, you can call it like clout within my own community, just because I started at church, and then literally the word spread. It allowed me to brand myself relatively easy because people were eating my food and enjoying my food. And the way how I had to start off, which a lot of people don't like to start off, but I had to start off giving away food for free, right? Because off the jump, people don't want to buy, people are risk averse, and people do not want to buy things they've never tasted before and never had before. So giving, and on the on the positive note is that people are willing to take things for free.
Yes.
As long as it looks safe, right?
Yep.
So just applying that small strategy that has been working for entrepreneurs for years, giving away free value, has really exploded my my ability to serve my local community.
Agreed.
Awesome. That is true. One thing I know is when you have samples, especially when you go to BJ's and all those, you see, everybody's taking a sample at the mall. That was smart. I have to give it to you. That was smart. I would have never thought of like, oh, giving it for free, because most people automatically like, go to my website, buy this, buy that, and you're like, oh no, I give it for free. Like I'm cool with that. I need my sample. So all about branding you. I just need my sample.
Exactly.
No.
For sure. Especially when your sample's like a full plate of food, for sure, for sure.
Oh, for sure. Oh my goodness, no
As-
questions.
Come over to the house
as
for Sunday or Saturday dinner. I got you covered.
Oh yes.
I got you covered. Not a problem. That's one thing I actually love doing. When I first started, I was actually doing a lot of physical therapy, and I was home. I wasn't able to work. I had a really bad accident, had some like injuries, but I was able to still move around in the kitchen. And one thing that I did was explore, okay, what do I have on hand? What can I create that's not like super high impact that I have to stand for a really long time? Cookies, wings, and making my spice sauces were like the go-tos that I would constantly just churn out, and like sweet treats, cakes, and like cupcakes. And when I was going to like physical therapy, I would take a box of cookies because Lord knows I shouldn't be eating a whole, 24 cookies. So I take them to the PT's office and I'd say, hey guys, I baked cookies. And they're like, oh my God, you come twice a week with 24 cookies for us every day. We're gaining weight, you're losing weight, you're getting better. What's going on? And that was a way to also spread my brand, if you could say, as well.
Yes.
So I completely agree with that. Yep.
Nice.
That's very good. And in order to receive, you must empty your hands a little bit to be able to receive. So I like the fact you guys are willing to give and sample out everything so you can bring people in to your businesses.
And one thing I definitely liked, which Chinamso mentioned, was that we want to connect each other. And it's awesome to know that, you're like, yeah, I'm willing to connect and repost and help my friends out. And then Nigel is here like, oh yeah, I'm teaching other people how to build their brand online and, showing them how to get that business. And that is the most important thing we can do as a community, because you can't show the world what we all can do if we're not working with each other. And I love that completely. So I do have to thank you guys for being here, and I do want to thank you guys both for just connecting and showing who you really are and expressing your business and your passion. And I hope that you guys will connect with each other, because this is two different landscapes here, and you guys are making great food. And once y'all get that gardening thing going, it's gonna be amazing. Oh my gosh, I can see it. I can see it already.
I'm gonna be there with my shopping bag.
He will.
Yes, you guys can sell homegrown fruits. Look at that, new ideas. I can definitely say that. So once again, anything last thing that you guys like to say to the people that are going to be connecting with you and making your orders?
I mean, the last thing I would say is when it comes to providing food for locals, or even anyone who's watching the video right now, when it comes to providing food for any person, specifically for catering, when it comes to giving away samples, the only thing I can say to the audience is just be kind to your chefs, right? They go through a lot behind the scenes, and sometimes a word of kindness can go a long way, and sometimes you can get an extra 2 spoons in your plate just for that simple word of kindness, right? So that's something I want to share with everybody who's definitely listening.
Agreed. Totally agreed. I'll piggyback on that. Just a word of thanks, or just showing gratitude to whoever is cooking, because behind the scenes it is rigorous. The quote goes, if it's hot, you can't be in the kitchen. If it's too hot, like, get out the kitchen. So for sure, we can sustain a lot in the kitchen. One thing that I do want to say, a last note, is whatever you do it with love, do it with passion. Food is meant to be shared. So as long as I'm able to stand on my 2 feet and prepare and cook, I'd be too happy to share, be it the recipe, how to reach me, any and all, to have people just enjoy. I know my 4 kids here, they can definitely vouch for it. Whoever is washing the dishes afterward, they get that extra piece of chicken. So a word of thanks or doing a little extra will get them some extra, for sure.
Not bad.
And you also just go ahead and tell them exactly how they can reach you again, how they can make their orders if they need it.
Sure. You can feel free to email me at dollarvandiva@gmail.com, or follow me at Dining with the Dollar Van Diva on Instagram. And feel free to drop a DM, send me an email, and I'll be more than happy to provide you a menu of what I can provide and or cook for you.
Not
Awesome.
bad. And for
And
me,
Nigel?
you can follow me at on Instagram. That's kind of like my PR system. It is at Chef Nigel Moses, and it's simple like that. Chef Nigel Moses. You can follow me, and you can figure out everything that I'm doing, from all my vegan foods, from the knives that I sell, from the internet help that I provide. Everything will be on that page for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you
Excellent.
guys for being here. I do appreciate you guys being a part of this episode of Chefs Today and Tomorrow. And I look forward to eating your food.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
will be placing my orders, absolutely. And I think I'll get a discount, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You got that friends and family discount.
Oh yeah.
Awesome, great. And for anyone else who wants to get in touch with them, all their information and their links and their connects will be below this video. Please don't hesitate. Food is always something that we need, especially if they're made by people who love and are passionate about cooking their food. All right. So once again, thank you for joining Nolly's World of Productivity. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
I